Shira, thank you so much for coming out and doing an interview with us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm awesome. Very tired.
Yeah, we're still recovering from last night's Concord Entertainment Party, aren't we?
Yes. So, you've been doing music for a very long time, but I think it's pretty interesting what you were doing before music. You're smart cookie. So, tell us a little bit about you had an internship in high school at Columbia.
Yeah, I actually went to a math and science high school, a magnet school, and I did genetics research at Columbia University. So I have a diverse background. Then I ended up going to UPenn in Philly to study science, and there I kind of discovered my love for writing and art and kind of switched gears a little bit. But I've always been a performer, and I've danced since I was age 3, and I did a lot of musical theater in high school and whatnot.
So how did you get started in music?
Yeah, well, it definitely started with musical theater. I did a lot of spoken word and creative writing, and then I just started writing songs one day. So after that, I said, I really need to kind of hook up with someone who can help me realize the dream and just partner with the right producer to make the sound. And I was studying abroad in London at the time. And I played a little bit of guitar, but, it wasn't... My main form of expression was always dance and movement. So, it wasn't my main thing. And I had maybe sang a couple cover songs at some parties, things like that. But I never had really done my own music until I studied abroad in London. And I hooked up with a producer over there to flesh out some songs that I had written. And that's when it all started.
So, did you do your first album over there in London?
I did. I recorded most of my first album in London. And I actually went back a few times to finish it. And I think it was great because it gave it a different sound. It was edgy, but it was electro pop. It was a sound that wasn't as big in the States yet as it was in Europe. So it's traveled over here more, I think, since then. But yeah.
You kind of headed back in that direction a little bit now, right?
Absolutely, because I started doing electro pop, and then I transitioned over into doing more punk rock sound with the live drums, and now I'm going back to the beats. So, but the new stuff is next level. It's more dancey. I mean, it's almost like the first album was almost like a fusion of my current sound and my second album.
So, on that first album, you had a collaboration with Tim Armstrong.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome, especially for an electro pop album to have a punk rock legend like that.
Yes, thank you. It was an honor to work with Tim Armstrong. I met him on the Warped Tour, and he had just finished producing Pink's album and said he wanted to work with me. So I said, yeah, let's do it. And we wrote the song, and he started singing. We're in the, I didn't expect it. I didn't ask him to be on the track. He just started singing it, and he had an idea, and then we kind of went with it. So yeah, it was definitely a huge honor to have him on the track.
So, your first album had a lot of songs with some solid messaging in them. So it's been a while since then. Do you still have that same kind of mind frame and attitude, and where did that come from, and what were you trying to say with that album?
Yeah, well, I've always been a feminist, and that's always been, a big message in my music. And I still am, as we were able to bring back the Shiragirl stage this year, and I think that my message stays the same. I think my form of delivery has kind of changed because, coming out in the beginning, it was kind of angry and raw and punk rock. And now, as I mature and my sound matures, I believe that you can still say something without actually saying it, and you could say it without screaming it,
right.
So it's a little bit more digestible, but the idea is still there.
So, from your music career came the Shiragirl stage. So tell us a little bit about how that got started. That's one of my favorite stories.
Well, I was on the Warped Tour working as an MC for the Truth campaign, and I noticed that there really were not a lot of girls on the Warped Tour, which, if you're familiar with the Warped Tour, it's a huge punk rock festival. And I had approached the owner of the tour and said, I would love to host something because I personally knew a lot of girl bands that I thought would be great for the tour that were based in New York. And he said, it's a great idea, maybe next year, because it was the 10th anniversary of the tour. And so then we kind of just crashed and we drove and we went anyway. And we drove our pink RV into the ground, set up and played, and wasn't sure what was going to happen. The owner of the tour walked by. We were almost, waiting to get kicked out, and he loved it. And he said, Shira, this is great. You guys on for the rest of the tour now? So he invited us on the rest of the tour, which was a huge honor. And when we got to New York, I got to bring a lot of other bands and host a lot of bands. And it's always been a thing for me, like I want to provide a platform for myself, but I see the bigger picture and I want to provide a platform for women because I think something that's held women back in the music industry is there's this misconception that there's only room for one. There's only room for one girl band. There's, a band is just a band. A band of dudes is just a band, but a band of girls is a girl band, so we got to change that. So, it's something I've always wanted to see, and to see more girls support each other, because they think girls tend to be a little bit more competitive, whereas dudes kind of, bro down with each other and help each other out more. So I wanted to kind of eliminate that competition and form a community of female artists that could support each other. So yeah, we hosted over 250 female-fronted bands that first year.
Wow. So on that first year, was it the first year that you got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? When did that come about?
That was the second year. So the first year, we actually hosted Paramore on their first tour, which, is awesome because they're huge now. Haley Williams was like 16, and it was their first tour, and so that was very cool. The label actually flew me down to see the band in Orlando, and I was like, they got something. Then the second year, Joan Jett played the stage, and that was the year that they had approached us about being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because Warped Tour was doing a time capsule exhibit, and they took my tutu and my CD, my outfit, my poster, and they included it in the exhibit, which was very cool. The same day that we did this, we were in Cleveland, Ohio. We got to perform with Joan Jett herself, grace the stage, and I got to sing Bad Reputation with her, which was awesome. So that was definitely a highlight day of my career. But what's cool is that the exhibit's actually going to be remounted in like 20 years, which I guess is now like 13 years now. So hopefully I can take my kids there.
Oh, wow. So what about the MTV Warpy Award? Did you actually get to go on an award show? And
No, that was something that MTV wrote about. It wasn't an award show or anything. Not yet. I know. I wish it was like an MTV VMA award, right? But we got an award for most punk rock way to win a place in the family. So that was cool.
Very cool. So I know I'm going through a lot of the history, but it's because this year you relaunched your stage. It's the 20th anniversary. It's kind of a second coming, I guess.
Yes.
So what do you see happening for the future of you, working with lifestyle merchandising, working with your new sound? What's happening in the next year, and what's happening with the stage, too?
Yeah. So it's a great question. So I am going back to LA to focus on recording my new album, which is going to be out in 2015. And meanwhile, I released a few singles this summer, so you're going to see, a video pop up here and there to kind of keep the momentum going, keep the fans interested. People are asking me about those songs. So my one song, You Ain't Heard That, which was available for free download on Get Conquer, we're going to be shooting a video for that soon. But mostly it's going to be all about writing new music and getting the new album together, so I'm excited. The stage, we hope to be able to return in 2015. Joe, shout out to Fat Joe, what up? Joe, thank you so much for hitting up the Conquer party last night. Great performance. So we are hoping to return to the stage if Conquer Entertainment wants to do it again. Shiragirl wants to do it again. So you tell me what's going on with the stage.
All right.
Yeah.
We're doing it again.
Great.
So as far as your plan for lifestyle merchandising, tell us a little bit about how you feel about the lifestyle merchandising system. How do you plan to utilize it?
So, I think it's great that an artist can promote, the products they use to their fans, and maybe the products that their fans are already using, but, using it to get support for their music. So, I'm working on launching a blog, and through that, I'm going to definitely be featuring, hey, here's the outfit I wore on my album cover. This is the gear I used to record my demo yesterday. Just featuring different products that I use and getting my fans to support that way.
Okay. Well, that's all I have for today, and thank you very much for sitting down with us and doing the interview, and great performance earlier. You guys should check it out on YouTube later. And where can we find your music?
GetConquered.com/Shiragirl.
And where else can we find you?
Shiragirl.com. We got every social media is Shiragirl, SHIRAGIRL, except Instagram is Shira_girl. But everything else, Twitter, Shiragirl, YouTube, Shiragirl, Facebook, Shiragirl.
Awesome. All right.
Thank
Thank you.
you.